But pertaining to the work that I've been doing, I kind of want to draw it as like a red thread. And it's not a linear thread yet. It's always kind of been in my past, up and down and up and down and up and down. And in the past, I was always so scared to share with people because I was like, I look like a crazy person and a mess because I'm doing basketball ministry in Europe and I'm doing hostel ministry internationally where I go and volunteer at different hostels and reach backpackers, or I'm just traveling and sitting with my Bible in places and saying, hey, let's talk about Jesus. And then I'm doing now fitness workout and I work with anti-trafficking and I'm like, I am all over the place and it's literally so confusing. But what I've noticed over the years is God is taking these and he's like slowly pulling the two ends so that it's coming together into one thing. And it's crazy to watch because I started in sports ministry and through that found that I could experience and worship God through fitness. Then I get this fitness certification and I'm traveling and I'm coming across backpackers that are lonely and they're scared, and they're usually, my favorite question to ask once I've established a little bit of a relationship is like, why are you traveling? And the answers are vast. They're like all over the place. Oh, I just want to party. I just want to do this. Oh, I needed to get away. And then you ask, oh, well, why? Like you ask a little deeper. And the two things that I found that are the most common thread is they're running from something or they're running to find something, find some kind of fulfillment, or both, usually both. And I've come across so many travelers and backpackers that have experienced, we all have a sexual history and a sexual past, whether that be a healthy one or an unhealthy one full of abuse, one full of manipulations, one full of chastity, where we're just, oh, I will not, like a lot of Christians I meet, they're, oh, no, we can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. I'm like, no, sex needs to be talked about. This is a very big issue.
Yeah.
It's a very big thing. Very, very important, and very important to Christ as well. It is something that needs to be celebrated and needs to be done properly, obviously, because we want to honor the Lord with our body. But I find a lot of travelers that are in this confusing state. And I go to a lot of cities that have red light districts. So you have this tension of like, I'm working with backpackers, I'm working with anti-trafficking organizations, and I am working with consumers, people that are visiting the red light district, and I'm working with the women that are the ones being consumed. So it's this weird tension and beautiful experience of being able to bridge these two. I come across a lot of backpackers, especially like I was in Amsterdam for a year, and our hostel was in the red light district. So we literally, it was our door, our front door, and the next door over was, it wasn't a red door, it was a blue door, which means it's a transvestite. But most of the people that come through our door come for drugs and sex. And a lot of hostels that I volunteer in that are part of our river community, our community of Christian, Christ-centered communities welcoming in travelers, are in areas with a lot of human trafficking. And actually Auburn has a lot of human trafficking because I have met backpackers that, like one woman, I was in Croatia and she got back and she was super flustered and she's in the bed above me. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, it was really, really late at night. She was like, oh yeah, I just left this bar and it just had a bad interaction. And I was like, well, what do you mean? You had a bad interaction? Like, did somebody say something or what? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. And she was like physically like still shaking. And I was like, okay, something else went down. And she had been at a bar at a club drinking, and which is fine, do your thing, be safe, be smart. And she got in a taxi after, and the taxi driver took advantage of her. And she came back and had nobody to talk to. You're in a hostel and she's trying to figure out how to deal with this far away from home, far away from any support system. And luckily I was the person that she came back to because I've had experience in this, like talking to people through this. I've had training because I studied social work and sexual trauma. And it's just crazy to me that travelers are in this place where they're so open to things, and that could be a good thing and that could be a very bad thing. So that was a beautiful moment that I got to be with somebody immediately after a horrible trauma, and we were able to pray together. I was able to give her silence for her to just sit and start processing. And I was also able to give her the next morning resources for her to go to and kind of start dealing with this. So that's a beautiful experience, which is why I guess my phrase is like small actions done with big love. I can do all things for Christ in everything, in the work that I'm doing and the work you guys are doing, in how we interact with our spouse, and how we sell a house, and how we teach our kids at school. All of these small actions, how we react, how we interact, if somebody says something, and we just let it pass by us. Oh, that was actually a really racist comment. What do I do in this situation? You know, if there's small actions done deliberately and in surrender, without judgment, with empathy, for Christ, I believe that huge changes can come from that. So, yeah, and then tying in the fitness, now I have something, whereas when I was in Germany, I have the experience. I've played basketball my whole life. I played professionally in Australia. So I know fitness well, but I didn't have the certification. So I would offer fun classes, but I didn't have the clout of being like, no, I've done my homework. I've gotten the certification. To offer a platform for these women. Now, not only can I like go in and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to be friends? And a lot of times you'll walk up to a window and they're like, go away, I'm working. And you're like, cool, I'll see you next week, I love you. Like, they literally will cuss you out, or they'll close the window in your face, and you have to come back in love every single time, no matter what they say. But now I can go to the women and say, oh, you're in a transitional home. What kind of stuff are you guys working on? Oh, you're doing job applications? That's wonderful. How do you feel when you walk into your interview? Insecure, why? Oh, you're not fitting into your clothes the way you want to. Oh, you're not feeling as confident about your body. Interesting. What is that, like, why? And it always comes back down to identity. But this is a tangible way that I can say, okay, I'm offering you this. You can work out. We went through what we're actually doing. We're breaking down barriers. We're breaking down our insecurities. We're adding endorphins into our bodies. We're getting fit. We're getting healthy, which aligns our mind to help us make better decisions. I worked out this morning, which means at lunch, I'm going to be like, no, you know what? I did something good for myself. I'm going to go ahead and treat myself to another great decision, honoring God, and I'm not going to have extra fries. I'm just gonna have like a healthy sandwich and a salad, you know, because I'm building into my sweat equity. I'm building it up, and I'm making good decisions towards honoring God and being a good servant, which helps me in my relationships, which helps me in my job, which helps me in every form and facet of my life. Other people, you know? So it's all these small actions. I want to get healthy, whole, and as real and centered with Christ as I can, so that in all of my reactions, in all of my interactions, I can be proactively spreading God's goodness and love. Me and my friend in Germany, we call them love bombs. Anytime somebody's mean to us, I'm like, okay, I'm getting angry, I can feel it, but I'm gonna throw a love bomb instead, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, I love you, how would Jesus view you? Okay, I'm gonna react in that way, instead of going with my gut reaction, which is probably like not the most holy or beneficial for anybody in the world. So throw out those love bombs, and know that as we are getting healthy and whole and working towards being better people for the kingdom of God, that is going to spread and multiply. But you guys can do work here. Of course, I want to invite you to be a partner with me, financially, prayerfully, being a promoter, being a connector. If you know churches, know individuals, if you know people that want to get in on anti-trafficking, I'm a connector, I'm a networker. I want to get people plugged in to where God has them working. But yeah, there's work that can be done here, there's work that can be done internationally. So I do want to invite you guys into that kind of stuff because it's so exciting. I want to invite you guys into the work that I do. I want to invite you into Revelation Wellness. I want to invite you into the trafficking realm. And I believe they all go together.